My husband told me he cheated on me, but I feel nothing. My husband told me today that he cheated on me. We were having a talk about our finances and he admitted to lying to me about his credit cards. We had discussed our debts before we got married. He knew I had student loans that I was paying off, and he told me he had a credit card but only used it for emergencies. I believed him because he gave me no reason not to. But today he finally admitted that he has a lot of credit card debt due to poor spending choices. We have separate finances and a joint account for bills, which is why I didn't know sooner. We've been married for 6 years. This made me ask him if there was anything else he was hiding from me, and he immediately looked guilty. After a lot of questioning, he admitted he cheated on me a year ago with his friend. This friend had previously gotten brought up because she had absolutely no respect for boundaries, and the last time he was deployed 2 years ago I caught him in a live with her at 3 a.m. my time because he assumed I was sleeping. I watched for 10 to 15 minutes, as she flirted with him, and he just smiled and loved it. I have been suspicious since then, but every time I have brought it up, he tells me it was nothing, and even showed me his phone, which I have now realized he deleted messages before showing me. And I just accepted his word because what's a marriage if you don't have trust, right? He told me they had a thing a year ago, and he did it because he loved the attention. We have a very regular bedroom life, 5x a week typically. I always make him his favorite meals, I clean, even surprise him often, like recently got him the college football game. It's like no amount of attention I gave him was apparently enough. After he told me he cheated, I smiled. I feel like a weight has been lifted from my chest, like I wasn't insane. He cried and told me he's not the same person and no longer talks to her and that he has her blocked. I just kept smiling and left the room. I'm now half a bottle of wine and dancing in the kitchen to Chapel Roan. I don't know why I can't cry. I don't feel anger. I feel almost empty. I'm not sure where I go from here, but here I am. Just a small little comment about what's going on now. I had a girls' day yesterday and slept over at a friend's house. We talked about my options, and the state I'm in requires a 1-year separation and may make exceptions for adultery. The only issue is that I have no proof he cheated. I just have him admitting he did it, and I highly doubt he will willingly say he cheated in front of a court. So for right now I'm going to start looking for my own place since we live on base, which means we both rent. And I'm going to be taking a vacation back to my home state to see my family for a couple weeks. I did some Facebook creeping and saw his friend was in a long-term relationship that ended a month or so ago, so I reached out to her ex, and her ex told me that he had suspicions about them for almost 2 years before he finally got proof. Apparently he would also catch my husband and her doing TikTok and Instagram live together while my husband was deployed. The kicker here is that he was also deployed with my husband. That's how her and my husband met, because this guy was a couple ranks above my husband, but they're not at the same station anymore. They met at a family day. My husband, and I'll call him Richard, didn't get along. And when Richard finally found the texts on his girlfriend's phone, he messaged my husband, and my husband basically had a whose dick is bigger competition. Richard sent me the flirty messages between my husband and his friend, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough proof to get out of the 1-year separation. So that's where we're at. I'm going to move out. My cat Frankie and I are going home for a couple weeks. And my husband has been doing this for 2 years.